If you have been in the MMA space for the past couple weeks, or at least since the UFC Sphere card, you might know that the MMA community has been really dogging on Tim Welch for the way that he was coaching Sean O'Malley. Now, he has spoken on this, and I'm mostly talking about when he was in Sean O'Malley's corner and saying, it's okay, Sean, it's almost over. A lot of people were criticizing him as a coach, and people have since then looked at Tim Welch's past performances in MMA and saying that, okay, this guy wasn't even a good fighter, which I disagree with, okay? I'm not saying that here, but I would love to bring this to light a little bit today for you. Just hear what I have to say, and as always, I would love to know what you think about it down below afterwards. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. So, guys, this is just purely an example tweet. I'm seeing things like this all over the place, okay? Tim Welch really managed to fail both as a fighter and as a coach. What should he try next? And the big thing that has been circulating around, which I'm not going to play for you because obviously UFC and their copyright, Tim Welch has appeared in recent times with an Ultimate Fighter clip. I, for one, didn't know he was on the Ultimate Fighter, but I haven't watched the Ultimate Fighter since Dillashaw vs. Garbrandt, and before that, I've only watched like select seasons. Like I watched the Chael Sonnen vs. Vanderlei Silva one, and what happened was there's one particular fight circling around, which is, I believe it's probably in the clip over here with Tim Welch, but Tim Welch getting finished in a fight. Now, here's the thing, though. If you guys were to actually watch a fight, because out of curiosity, I went back and actually looked at that fight, which, first of all, one fight does not prove who you are as a coach, who you are as a fighter. Everybody has good days, everybody has bad days, but in the fight that has been circling around from the Ultimate Fighter, Tim Welch actually performed very, very well. He just ended up losing that fight. So I don't look at Tim Welch from this fight and go think anything differently of him, but the thing is, I don't think that just because somebody didn't necessarily succeed as a fighter, and who's to say that we don't know like what happened with Tim Welch, how serious he took his career, how many fights he had, what kind of training he had. I'm just saying the way that he coaches doesn't necessarily represent him as a fighter, because you can see this with a lot of fighters now who are completely out of the game. You can take somebody like Robbie Lawler, that's just literally off the top of my head, okay? Robbie Lawler ended up losing a bunch of fights towards the end of his career. He got old, his chin wasn't the same, and now he's coaching. Should we take anything away from him being a coach? There are a lot of people, like, honestly, there's a lot of people, even just on YouTube, who are extremely, extremely knowledgeable about MMA, knowing how to game plan, how to work out, how to diet, those things. Obviously, it's much, much better if you were to actually do it and be successful. Obviously. But I'm just saying the fact that there's one Ultimate Fighter fight coming about from Tim Welch, and I don't know Tim Welch's record off the top of my head, but it's something like 14-5 in MMA, like, he had an okay career, and I know he's competed in grappling. I don't know how much success he's had in that, but from an outside perspective, so far, Tim Welch has produced a champion. I don't think that we should be taking this one clip of him getting finished in a fight and just going off on the guy. You know, the saying that you literally are as good as your last fight? That seems to be the case because so many people liked Sean O'Malley and Tim Welch, and now everybody's laughing at Sean O'Malley and Tim Welch. It literally just does not make any sense to me. But I wanted to take a couple tweets from just a couple replies from different posts on the Ultimate Fighter clip to kind of get a gauge on how people are feeling about this. And as always, I'd love to know what you think about it down below. So Top MMA Content replied, Sean was a two-time champion and ranked #1 still. This is the most important thing we need to take a look at. And Tim Welch himself, another thing that I wanted to mention was because everybody's talking about Tim Welch talking to Sean O'Malley in his most recent fight and saying, it's okay, it's almost over. Obviously, that wasn't a good thing to say, right? But the thing is, everybody's ignoring all of the good advice we've had from Tim Welch over the years towards Sean O'Malley. And Tim Welch, Sean O'Malley always talks highly about Tim Welch and his coach. He produced a UFC champion and somebody who's ranked #1. And still, even people are now talking about Sean O'Malley winning the fight. Perhaps, like, it's to some point that I need to go back and watch the fight myself, but this is still a success. And even then, he had his own moments at the end of the fight. So I want to take a look at another reply over here from Center of Reason. You should worry about yourself, not another grown man who has accomplished more in his 34 years than you will in your entire life. At the end of the day, Tim Welch is a very successful coach, has a successful gym, and produced a champion. I like to say that he is pretty successful himself. And in this fight, and the other one that some people who actually watched the Ultimate Fighter clip, you're hearing things like this, people being reasonable. He actually looked pretty good. In that Ultimate Fighter fight, he did look pretty good. I'm talking about the specific fight. I don't know if there's any fight where Tim Welch absolutely got starched or anything like that, but the Ultimate Fighter clip that I'm seeing fly around right now, like, I don't get what the big deal is. If you go back and watch a fight, which I did, he looked good in the fight. Was it a perfect performance? No, obviously he ended up losing, but it's not like he went in there and just got absolutely demolished and was like, hey, I'm going to coach somebody. That's not how it worked at all. Obviously, this dude is knowledgeable about the game. If you listen to him talk, he knows what he's talking about when it comes to training. Sean O'Malley has become a champion under Tim Welch. I think that's something that a lot of people need to take into consideration. So I'd love to know what you think about Tim Welch as a coach down below. I'd love to hear from you. Have you seen the fight? What do you think about his performance? If you have any other comments you want to say about his career, because I haven't followed his career too deeply, I'd love to know what you guys think down below. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you for watching. Check out this video on screen right now. YouTube thinks you'll like this video the best if you want to keep watching the channel. I'll see you over there, guys. Take care.